Is he in the floor? Jeez. Oh, shoot. You said you see blood? 110 radio. Come on. Go on back. Get EMS out here. Oh boy. There's a lot of blood.
Hudson, Ohio hadn't reported a single violent crime in over 240 days. Quiet streets, stable neighborhoods, until April 19th, when police were asked to check on a man who hadn't shown up to pick up his daughter from school. They stepped into something far worse than anyone expected. Police expected a welfare check. Instead, they opened the door to 7 gunshots no one saw coming. It was a Wednesday. Dr. Todd Morgan, a 41-year-old professor of business and finance at Cleveland State University, was expected to pick up his 5-year-old daughter from school. He never arrived. Her mother, Mary, received a call from the school and immediately took action. By evening, she contacted police and requested a welfare check at Todd's home in Hudson, Ohio.
I was wondering if I'd be able to request a wellness check on someone.
Okay, what's going on?
My daughter was supposed to be picked up by her father today, and I got a call from the school that she was still at the school, so I ended up picking her up. They tried to contact him. I tried to call him a couple times and haven't received anything back.
And what's his name?
Todd Morgan.
Has he ever done anything like this?
No, I don't think he would forget his daughter from school, but we are going through some custody issues right now, which is why I find it to be a little bit more unusual.
When you call him, does it go straight to voicemail or does it ring?
It rings.
Just before 7 p.m., officers arrived at the residence. The lights were on. The house was still. No one answered the door. They made entry.
Oh boy. There's a lot of blood. Party looks to be... I might have fell. Crap. Oh, open.
Near the back door, they found him. Unmoving, unresponsive, lying on the ground with a gunshot wound to the head. It was Dr. Todd Morgan, pronounced dead at the scene. At first glance, the trauma to his temple and the presence of multiple shell casings suggested suicide. But there was a problem. There was no weapon anywhere in the house, and that shifted the case from possible suicide to probable homicide.
I don't see a weapon. That's why I'm thinking something else.
Inside the master bedroom, detectives found the room in disarray. The bed was unmade. Empty bottles and alcoholic beverages were scattered. Condom wrappers were found on the floor.
Bullet casing here, which that's weird. Why is there a bullet casing here? Found money? Change.
Additional shell casings were discovered. An autopsy revealed that Dr. Morgan had been shot 7 times. One of the bullets was fired at close range. 2 struck his left clavicle, both of which would have been fatal within minutes. All rounds were from a 9mm handgun. This was not a single moment of panic. It was sustained, intentional, and it ruled out suicide completely. Todd Morgan was a professor. He held bachelor's and master's degrees from Cleveland and earned his PhD from Kent State in 2015. He had taught in Massachusetts, in Michigan, and eventually returned home to Cleveland State. But outside of academia, Todd was a father, known for his discipline in the classroom and his joy with his kids. He was the kind of dad who played, who showed up, who made the everyday feel special for his kids. That Wednesday, his daughter waited at school, believing he'd walk through the doors, like always. Instead, it was her mother who came, and even she didn't know yet that her daughter's world had just changed forever. Detectives examined the scene more closely.
So he's laying on his back with a gunshot wound to the head at the back door, and it looks like the door was forced out, as in out to the door. So I'd like for somebody to come out and take a look. There's shell casings all over the place, and just to figure out exactly what.
The back door frame was damaged. A section of the lock had been ripped from the inside and landed on the deck. There was blood spatter on the interior side of the door, and most telling of all, bloody footprints leading away from the body. The trail extended from the deck, down the stairs, and toward the driveway, where Todd's Porsche SUV still sat, untouched. Inside the house, valuable electronics and personal items remained where they should have been. Even Todd's legally owned firearms were untouched. Only one thing was missing: his phone. The scene suggested someone had left in a hurry, maybe even before officers arrived.
Can I see your tread on your shoes? Yeah, definitely not you. Okay. There's footprints all over in the blood, and it looks like boots.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, there would piece of this door would be out here somewhere. Oh wait, there it is. It's all the way over here.
Oh, okay, then that definitely wasn't us.
Police needed answers, so they turned to the neighbors. Investigators canvassed the neighborhood.
I always said there's something off about him. Like, I get really feelings about people when I meet them. And I always said, there seems to be something strange about him, but I think
Todd Morgan. I hope he's okay. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, he's been here a year and a half.
Year and a half?
Kids.
Okay.
Somebody come out of the house to the car that was next to the Porsche. They were in the car. I mean, it was there.
The Porsche?
No, it was next to the Porsche.
Okay.
And it was there when I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock.
Like strange, it was saying it's strange to you. Just seems odd.
weird. He said he worked from home. What the fuck does he do? He drives a Porsche.
That's pretty common
He's
nowadays.
fixing up the house the whole time. Where does this guy get his money from? I don't know. Like, what does he do? And he says, he needs to run errands and go to the gym, and so he wants my daughter to babysit. It just seems off.
Just seems off.
It seems like fucking off, like fucking weird. Like, I don't know. I get very off feelings.
They found Eugene and Sherry, a couple who lived nearby. Around 7:20 a.m. that morning, they heard a loud noise. It could have been gunshots. At the time, they assumed it was a car backfiring, or maybe part of the home renovations Todd had been working on. But what caught their attention even more was a vehicle parked directly beside Todd's Porsche.
I saw somebody come out of the house with long hair to the shoulders. I couldn't even tell you if it was male or female, to be honest with you. It looked like a smaller frame, not a big person. Got into a little car.
They didn't recognize it. They didn't know who it belonged to. Later, Eugene reviewed footage from his Ring doorbell camera. There it was, a blurry but visible image. A light-colored car parked close to Todd's SUV around the same time as the shots. Not clear enough to name a suspect, but it was something.
Then it jumps to 7:30 and it's gone.
And it's gone?
Yeah.
So what time is that, right?
6:50.
50?
Yeah.
Okay. And then 7, it's gone?
Yeah.
Investigators spoke again with Mary, Todd's ex, and the mother of his daughter. She was the one who had first called police. Now, they needed to know more. Did Todd have enemies? Was he seeing someone? Anything that could explain what happened?
We found Todd dead today. So,
And, any explanation?
we're still in ongoing investigation. We have the detectives looking into it right now.
They learned Todd's first marriage ended after he had an affair with one of his students. That relationship didn't last either. He also struggled with alcohol, though in recent months he was making progress. He'd been using a breathalyzer device connected to an app. Every day, results were sent to Mary to confirm he was sober.
He's required to do an iSober device.
What's that?
It's to, he'll breathe into it and it reads whether he's had a drink or not.
For the vehicle?
Just any.
Oh, wow, anything at all, okay.
And the last report I got was from yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning.
You get reports from
Yeah,
the
it
ISO?
emails
No
the
kidding.
results.
You got a result for that test yesterday.
Yes, I can pull it up.
Does it give numbers or just say if it's positive or negative for alcohol?
It does give numbers.
Okay.
What's this test called again?
I sober. The only other thing I can think of, but this was well over a year ago, his ex was dating someone that he said felt threatened by her and him ever having to exchange anything in person.
Okay.
So they would meet.
They would meet at like a police department or a common area.
Nothing stood out as a motive, but his personal life wasn't clean, and the detectives kept going. Then came a new discovery. At exactly 7:21 a.m., the same morning Todd was killed, a 911 call was placed, the source of that call, Todd Morgan's address, but the call wasn't made from Todd's phone. And on the other end, no one said a word. At first, it seemed like an error, but police knew about iPhones. Pressing the power button 5 times can trigger an SOS call, even accidentally. If the killer had the phone in their pocket, or if they fumbled during the act, they might have triggered the call themselves, unknowingly alerting dispatch from the scene of the crime. That was a major break. The number that made that call traced back to a woman named Teriana Paschele, a 32-year-old from Akron. Her physical appearance matched a description Eugene had given. Medium height, shoulder-length hair. She drove a silver crossover vehicle, closely resembling the one caught on camera. Police immediately went to the address linked to Teriana.
What was she in trouble? Where would you talk to her? Oh, okay. I definitely let her know.
You tell her to call the Hudson Police Department? Hudson Police Department, Hudson, Ohio.
Okay, I sure will.
What friend she's staying with?
I don't know, man. It's some friend. I mean, she's a friend. You know, look like a little girlfriend, you know, she's a young girl. Grandkids upstairs in the bed, y'all think y'all gonna just walk through my dog house? Hell no. Ain't no Teriana in here.
Apparently he's mad.
What's that?
She's with one of her girlfriends in Garden Valley.
Yeah, how far is that from here?
It's not far.
Oh, we could follow you over there.
They refused to let officers in. It was a setback, but not the end. Digging further, police discovered something even more alarming. Just days before Todd's murder, Teriana had been at the police station. She was questioned in connection with a completely separate case involving a different ex-boyfriend. In that case, she had claimed she was being threatened. Police had suspected she might have been the shooter, but at the time, there wasn't enough evidence to charge her. Now, she was tied to a homicide. This time, things were different. Phone records placed Teriana at Todd Morgan's house at the exact time of the murder. The Ring doorbell footage showed a car just like hers. And then came the confirmation. The gun used to kill Todd, it was registered to Teriana. By now, police had phone data, location history, and visual footage tying Teriana Paschele to the crime scene. But they needed more. Investigators examined the bloody footprints found on Todd's deck. They weren't random smudges. The prints had a pattern, one they could trace. They matched them to a specific pair of Nike sneakers. Police reviewed public photos of Teriana on Facebook. In several images posted months earlier, she was wearing that exact pair. Surveillance footage showed Teriana's silver Ford Taurus leaving the area the same morning Todd was killed. Shortly after, she changed her phone. On April 22nd, just 3 days after the murder, Teriana typed into Google, "Can police track my phone even if I remove the SIM?" She also searched multiple articles about the murder. One in particular, Hudson murder victim identified as Cleveland State University professor. That wasn't all. In the weeks following the crime, Teriana searched her own name, connected with the murder, 41 times. She was watching the investigation unfold from the outside, but the digital evidence placed her at the center. Inside Todd Morgan's home, they had collected a Black and Mild cigar. DNA on that cigar matched Teriana. Condoms found on the floor. Her DNA, again. The connection was now physical. Confirmed. Unquestionable.
You ever been to Hudson before? I don't recall. Your phone, why would it dial 911 on April 19th? My phone? Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So here's what's interesting about these two photos. Right? Okay, these two photos were actually on your phone. On my phone? Mm-hmm. Well, they weren't on my phone. You actually typed in a search for this guy, and you viewed this image on your phone. You also did a search for 320 West Streetsville Street, and you viewed this image on your phone. Mary, I'm giving you an opportunity here to talk to us. We need to know what happened. Okay, and I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on, but...
Todd and Terriana had met through the Bumble dating app. Their conversations moved to text. They agreed to meet in person. At his house, text messages from her phone revealed discussions about prostitution. She listed prices, stated clearly she only did out calls, meaning she traveled to meet clients. On the day Todd was killed, he sent her $50 via Cash App. She claimed the money could have been from anyone, that people sent her money randomly, but the data said otherwise.
So, Todd Morgan sent you $50 morning of April 18th. I don't know. Okay, but he did. So, what I want to ask you is, there was another payment. About 23 minutes later, there was a $1,000 payment that was sent from Todd Morgan to Black Beauty. And you confirm that Black Beauty, this Cash App is you. That's you, obviously, in that picture. So he sent you $1,000. Now, we go back to a $50 payment. You say, guys send you random $50 every now and then. Okay, you guys send you random $1,000 payments? No. Okay, so it can happen.
Roughly 20 minutes after the $50 transfer, Todd's Cash App attempted to send another payment, $1,000, to a user named Black Beauty. That profile photo, it was her. That payment was never completed. Due to the amount, Cash App flagged it for confirmation. A verification notification was sent to Todd's phone, but he never responded. He was already dead. By the time the case went to court, the evidence was overwhelming. Terriana's phone placed her at the scene. Her car matched surveillance. Her DNA was found inside the home. Her search history showed a guilty conscience. Her gun matched the murder weapon. Her footprint matched the scene. And her financial transactions told a clear story. In September 2024, just as the trial was set to begin, Terriana Paschel accepted a plea deal. She pleaded guilty to murder and received a sentence of 20 years to life, with an additional 3 years for the firearm charge. Under the agreement, she'll be eligible for parole after 23 years. The plea spared Todd's family the emotional weight of a full trial, but the weight didn't go away.
Yes, to his family, I'm very sorry, and I hope that one day that you can find it in your hearts to forgive me.
She was only 4 when she waited at school for her dad to pick her up, not understanding why he never came. I'm Todd's mom. I always will be. Todd's not here to tell his story. Only God, Todd, and you know the truth of what happened on April 19. All I know, he was brutally murdered by you. And he basically died for nothing. You didn't even know him. Your actions to take my son's life changed my life forever. It's changed all of our lives. Even more so, you took a father from 2 beautiful children. They were his world, and he was theirs.
Todd Morgan wasn't just a name in a file. He was a father, an academic, a man working to rebuild, a man who was trying. In the middle of real life, custody agreements, and breathalyzer check-ins to stay present for his children. He didn't die in a back alley. He died in his home, a place that should have been safe. Terriana Paschel will serve a minimum of 23 years, but no one truly walks away, because justice doesn't bring people back. It just names what was done. This was not a random act, it was a choice, and its consequences stretch further than any sentence can reach.